decided to dust off the old YouTube account and start making content again. And one of the topics that seemed of interest on my Instagram page was title bonds. And I recently got rid of the lifted Miata, so now I've moved on to a Corvette project. And that Corvette had the need for a bonded title. So I'm going to go through the process as far as what happened with my particular car, as well as what you'll need to do to replicate to do a bonded title for your own vehicle that you're looking to purchase. So in my case, found a smoking deal in Alabama. Low mileage Corvette with tons of aftermarket parts, and started reading through the description. It of course met my price range, which was cheap, and saw that it had some top end noise in the engine. A little worrisome, get to that later. Next up was that he was selling it for parts because he didn't have the title and didn't want to go through the process of getting the title. So, that can be a double-edged sword. It could be because they have a lien on it they don't want to tell you about, or they don't actually own the car. There's a bunch of different reasons why an unscrupulous person might want to do it. And then on the other side, it's maybe they just don't want the hassle. So in this case, it was that he just didn't want to deal with the hassle of getting a title. I actually spoke with him on the phone, and as luck may have it, my friend Emmett was actually in Alabama the day that I was talking to the seller. So Emmett was able to swing by, take a look at the car, FaceTime video with me, got to hear the car running, not so well, but it ran. And from there, made the deal to go pick it up the next day. Emmett gave him a deposit, and I drove up there and got it. Now, there's a couple steps that I kind of glossed over there. The first thing is going to be really doing your research on the vehicle. One of those is getting a report on the VIN. And for the state of Georgia, you need this anyway. You need some kind of report that pulls from the NMVTIS, and VIN audit is one of those. This video is not sponsored by them. It was just one of the ones on the list on the Georgia title page. So that's who I used. $10 gave me all of the VIN information that I needed. No liens, no wrecks, no salvage history, anything like that that would keep you from getting a bonded title. So if it has had salvage history, that's a whole nother video and a whole nother struggle. So at this point, everything seemed to match up. So I go, pick up the car, bring it back home, and now it's time to do all of the title paperwork. So there's several forms that you're going to need to complete. I'm going to have links in the description for all of these. The first thing you're going to need is the tag title application form, which is an MV1. Self-explanatory. Information about you, information about the car. Next one is the certificate of title bond application form. Now, this one is basically you entering that basically you understand that with this bond, if the previous owner comes back, that's what this bond is for, to pay for the vehicle, so to speak. Because when you do a title bond, it's twice the value of the vehicle. Next up is going to be the certificate of title bond affidavit, which is an MV46A. That's actually going to come from the title bond company that you work with. So they do a lot as far as helping you with this paperwork. And usually the bond is, if the car is under $20,000, or the bond value, like mine was $180. So it's not that expensive in the grand scheme of things. Next up, what you're going to need is the T22B form. And that one is where an officer actually comes out to your house, residence, business, wherever you're storing the vehicle, and they do a VIN check to make sure that there's no history of it being stolen. And once that's complete, you're pretty much ready to rock to go to the tag office with your stack of paper and submit for your title. Now, since mine was out of state, bought a car from Alabama, brought it back to Georgia, there was an extra bit of legwork because the state of Georgia wants a form from that state certifying its information. So they want a vehicle records request from Alabama. I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to get that. Was able to go to their site, put in the request for that form, and I was like, man, this is going to take days. Literally like 15 minutes later, I saw that my request was in process. It was like $15 for that records request, and I was able to go back to the DMV that same day with that new form, finish up my paperwork, and get the title complete. So that's when it works that easily. Now the next one, the Corvette that I bought, spoiler alert, that top end was top end, bottom end, every end. The engine actually had pistons that were about 1/8 of an inch taller than the deck height. So it destroyed itself on startup, and I don't know how it was still running, but it ran, just made a lot of noise. So that engine was trashed, and scrambling for a solution, trying to find a long block, a reman long block was impossible. So my next step was, let me just find another cheap Corvette. I'll harvest the engine from it and then LS swap the other car. Like I didn't really have a plan for the other car. It was just, let me get an engine quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I go back to Marketplace, find another car that needs a title, and was $2,000. I was like, this is it. Call up the seller, tells me some story about there being a title bond out of California that was almost paid off, but it's not enough for the title bond company to come and get the car, but they're also not going to release the title. And I was like, could that happen? I mean, I don't know, but I was like, So I went ahead and got the VIN, did my $10 VIN audit report, and it shows a ton of stuff. So it's going to show you past liens, all of the title history like I talked about, and in this case, it showed me that it was recently for sale like 3 months ago from a dealership probably 45 minutes from me. I was like, okay. So put on my PI hat and gave him a call. I was like, hey, I'm looking to buy a car that you guys sold to the current owner a few months back, and it was a buy here, pay here lot. So I don't know how they go about letting the state know that there's still a lien on a vehicle, and just wanted to make sure that I've crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's, and gave him the VIN. He was like, oh no, that car's stolen, which it's not really stolen. It was just looking to be repoed because the guy hadn't paid on it. So I was able to back out of that deal before I lost my money and lost the car. So you do need to be fairly picky with the vehicles that you choose to do a bonded title with, and definitely do your homework, because I almost lost out myself on a car and the money for that car. And that's pretty much it for this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things so that the channel can grow. And, you know, maybe one day I'll get monetized and be able to do really stupid stuff with the money. So fingers crossed. Everybody have a great day. Any questions about bonded titles, or if you've had your own success, put it in the comments. All right, thanks. Bye.